Hello there! Happy Halloween! It's time for another in real life video. Like I said, this is the week of Halloween. This is going out on the evening of Halloween, hence I am Gustavo Fring this year. Last year, I was Saul Goodman, or James McGill. It's on Instagram if you want to see that. This week, the topic is not necessarily one sent in by a specific general viewer, but more so one that's been sent in over the course of, a long period of time. A lot of people have asked about this, so this is more just a general thing. Anyway, it's about merch and merchandise, stuff, physical objects that you could buy from me about the channel and all of that. Anyway, broadly speaking, the idea is, will I ever get any merchandise or sell any or anything like that for people to buy it if they so desire? And the answer is maybe eventually, right? Not anytime immediately. And there's a few reasons for that. First and foremost, I would want to be able to sort of look through whatever third-party company or whatever you use in order to sort of make sure that they have, some, like, at the very least, not horrifying, atrocious practices or whatever, right? And of course, I would, now that I've especially gotten into and interested in clothing in and of itself, I would want to make sure it's at least up to some sort of quality standard. That I would be okay with wearing this myself. Not necessarily it's a style that I like, it's an aesthetic that goes with something that I would wear in that sense, right? But in that the quality level of it is to a degree to where it's like, for instance, if I sold a t-shirt or whatever, right? I would want it to have like natural fibers in it completely, like 100% cotton or whatever, something along those lines. And of course that would drive up prices and all of that, which in and of itself, the cost factor, ensuring better labor practices, ensuring better quality and this sort of thing, that's going to make it a bit more expensive. It means that I probably want to stay away from the idea of even getting into merchandise in that way for a while. And also, another reason, we're just not that big yet, right? I don't anticipate, if I did open some sort of merch store, there being a huge conversion rate or whatever of viewers to buyers. So I don't really see necessarily the need. Like, there's definitely a few folks who have, like I said, already expressed interest in such a thing. And I do appreciate the sentiment. But like I said, I don't think the level of demand is there yet necessarily to sort of justify going through the logistics process, sort of organizing, okay, where am I getting these from? How do I ensure that these are good, that the people providing them are good, and shit like that. It's just a lot of extra stuff to do on the back end. Stuff that I have considered that would be fairly easy, I think I've kind of done cursory looks into. These would probably be the first few sorts of things that I would be interested in getting into if the time ever came in the distant future for me to eventually branch out into this. Probably stuff like baseball caps and enamel pins, right? I could very easily see there being like, an enamel pin or baseball cap with like a little, like in Skyrim, the little crab charm or whatever, something with a similar design to that. I don't want anything that says like Lyle Shnub on it or whatever. I want it to be not terribly obvious that this is about a video game, right? Or that this is related to a YouTube channel about video games. It needs to be innocuous enough that way someone could just comfortably wear it in the day-to-day, And I would probably also go on to, whenever, like I said, if ever this comes to a point, right? If ever this does occur, I get to the point where I'm like seriously thinking, okay, yeah, there's tons of people now asking about merchandise and stuff like that. Maybe it's finally time to pull the trigger. I would very likely commission some sort of artwork from some artist in order to have that be featured on whatever it is. I have considered as well, because you would have to have a place to store these things unless you order it directly through a third-party company. I know that there's some that do that, but I feel like it's also a coin toss as to whether those companies, like, the quality on whatever it is like up to my personal standard, right? The ones that you send them a design and then people buy through their site, right? There's other ones, a lot of the higher quality stuff, you need to sort of order in mass in a certain size, or ideally, like I said, it's an enamel pin or a baseball cap or something else that you don't need to worry about different sizing and different sorts of fits for the like clothing piece or whatever, right? Typically higher end stuff, you have to provide your own warehouse, right? From what I've seen so far. And granted, I've only done like a cursory look, but a lot of the mid to high range stuff is you need to source your own storage. Now, in the case of something like an enamel pin, right? I could very easily store, I don't know, 100 plus enamel pins just like behind me or whatever. I could easily do that. But of course, in order to do that, you would have to buy in bulk. You would have to buy like, I think the lowest I've ever seen is you buy like 25, but of course you save a whole lot more if you buy hundreds of them at once. And like I said, I'm just not sure if the demand is there yet for that kind of a thing. Like I said, in the future, that's totally a possibility. Enamel pins, very likely to be one of the first things, if we ever did merch, enamel pins really high up there, because not only is it something that I could very easily store, and you can very easily be like, yeah, most enamel pins, it's rarer to find an enamel pin that's pretty shitty. But going back a little bit, enamel pins, something that I would totally wear. I wear them all the time on my lapel. But yes, just to reiterate, a bit of a shorter video this week. For merchandise, probably not for a long while, if ever. And if we do, we'll very likely start out with some sort of enamel pin. Something along those lines. Seems easy enough. You know, just rent out a P.O. box and mail them out myself. Anyway, next week, we will have very likely a general viewer submitted topic. One from someone very specifically. We've got quite the list. As always, you can keep submitting more and more. I keep adding to the list, growing it week after week. Appreciate it. Gives me plenty to do. Don't have yet 52, so we don't yet have a year's worth of topics just yet, but I think I can very easily come up with plenty myself. I do, though, enjoy answering the ones specifically from gentle viewers like you. Anyway, until next time, please take care of each other.